Hello everyone! For today's video, I'll be completing my first ever draw with me. I'll be drawing the view outside my window. Here I can see a large tree that my family calls Stanley, a tall white pillar, and a rose bush. You can draw alongside me or watch how I paint and ink these. Now let's get into the video. I usually like to frame the image that I'm going to paint just so I can get a better idea of where I like to place things and I don't feel so overwhelmed about filling entire paper space. I turned my pen vertical there so I can get a better idea of where I want to place the pillar, and I'm leaving little spaces between the lines so I can put leaves from the rose bush. You can see that I am not trying to get every exact detail in the rose bush as I continue to draw it. I want to just give the impression that it's there, and I can accomplish this by not adding too much detail as I draw the leaves and the branches. I want the viewer to connect it. So here is a riverbed that my boyfriend and his dad made around the house. Now this tree is held up by a pole that's holding them, like it's wrapped around them. So that's what I tried to do there. I think it looks like it. I also do the flower on the top left that I'll paint pink later. Behind it is Stanley, the big old tree. It's funny because every time I ask him, why'd you guys name the tree Stanley? Like, he can't remember why. They were just kids. And he said he was a little stick, and now he's a very big tree, as you can see in the videos. Next time, I want to do a better job at positioning my background images around the main focus, because the main focus of this image is the white pillar and the rose bush, and Stanley is just supposed to be in the background. So when I show the end result, I just feel like it looks a little bit too crowded in the image for my particular liking. So next time I will definitely leave a better space between the focus point and the background. And here I'm showing my tools that I'll be using for this project. So I have my Bomb Up watercolor palette. I have micron pens and some paintbrushes and a stylus that came with the palette. And here you can see I also grabbed a couple of my clear quartzes and some citrine just to help boost my creativity and my overall mood. I'm going to start by making the blue sky first, and then I want to leave gaps of blue within my trees and my rose bush. One of the things I've learned while teaching myself how to better myself with watercolors is that it's best to leave gaps when painting foliage like tree leaves and bush leaves, because it helps the viewer connect it with their own mind. For example, if I had painted the entire block green, it wouldn't give much depth that there's different layers of leaves and that there's leaves poking through. So it just looks overall better, in my opinion at least, when there's gaps for other things to peek through the bushes and the trees. I wanted to get a light base color, so that's why I did a base of a yellowish green, and then I started building my way up from the bottom. So I placed the darker greens at the bottom and left the top more bright and yellow because that is where the sun's hitting it most. Next, I'll be adding the brown for the tree bark and for the dirt. I made sure to color the tree bark that's poking out through Stanley so it could have more spacing within the object. I'm also making sure to add some brown within the rose bush so you can see its bark peeking through. Here I added some more deeper greens. Now I'm giving the tree a shadow from behind it by adding a really deep green. I mixed some blue to create that color. I used that leftover color, a very watered down version of it, to paint the cement shadow. And now I'm adding in some yellow for the grass to give it a brighter color before I add in a green to go over it. I'm also mixing in the yellow with the shadow to make the shadow look less harsh and blend in overall better with the grass. Now a random sketch of one of my plants is about to pop up because while I was waiting for the paint to dry, before I could go in and add more detail, I decided to sketch it really quick. This is my Petra contra. It's a really pretty plant. The reason I waited for my paint to dry is because the paint kept bleeding throughout it, and I wanted the leaves to be more like how they are in this image, where they're more circular and they stick out a bit more in the bush. I'm actually almost done here. I just added in some extra details like some leaves. I did that by adding splotches of green. And I start going in and shading the white pillar with some light gray. I do first all over white gray and then I go with an even darker shade of that. This helps to give a bigger idea of a shadow on the white pillar and just helps make my drawing look more realistic. I finished the top of the ceiling. Go in and make the tree branches darker as well as the dirt. I'm putting down any details that I may have missed during the process and just trying to make it look neater and a little bit brighter. Okay, I think I'm done here. Don't really want to add any more. I feel like this looks pretty good as is. If I keep working it, I feel like it'll just look like too much. So I like how it all came out. I feel like I did a good job with the shading on the pillar. The trees, you can really see the light to dark, which I really like, and I like that I left spaces for blue where the sky would show. I think the shadow over here came out really good. I think next time I'll do a better job with spacing. The tree in the background really, I feel like it meshed too much with the rose bush, and there's not a lot of like space to show their differences. So next time I'll do a better job with that. But I like how this came out. I think it came out pretty cute.